So while we're at this red light, Richard, I want to ask you, like we've talked about this a lot. So I've not purchased too many of the McFarlane DC figures. You have kind of been all in on a handful, especially like a lot of the Batman stuff.
Yeah, I've definitely been a huge fan of the line since the first wave. I mean, that was one thing, was that Batman that they released for that first wave. I was really impressed by. You know, every figure gets a plastic cape, but not every figure gets a highly detailed plastic cape or a bat grapnel or something like that. So, like, not just the style, the look, and the accessories have really impressed me, but especially just the range. Like, because he's touched upon video games, he's touched upon Batman in different comic book issues. I mean, the Hellbat doesn't show up but for 2 panels in a comic book, and it gets a figure.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. If you could choose 5 DC characters for McFarlane to put in his McFarlane Multiverse wave, what would they be?
First and foremost is going to be, and I'm directing this specifically from what McFarlane has said himself, is that he can touch upon anything from video games, movies, comic books. They've given him free reign. I would absolutely love at my top number 1 something related to the Tim Burton Batman, like a Keaton Batman, a Nicholson Joker. That's at the top of my list. And especially with the Flash movie, with Keaton reprising his role, and we're seeing a lot of different companies kind of dipping their toes into the 89 property, I have a very strong feeling that's going to happen.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Give me a second. I don't want to... There's a bike rider on the side of the road here, and I want to be respectful of his space. But now I'm going to pass him. So, be respectful of bike riders on the road. So what else you got?
The next runner-up for me is definitely going to be the Vampire Batman. I know it was an Elseworld story. That character design and what I know McFarlane has done with vampires in the past, I feel like that would be a pinnacle figure to put into the line, because one, it's well beloved by a lot of Batman fans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that we've never really gotten a true form of. We got an Elseworlds figure, but it only had, like, to be honest, it was really more of a statue with 5 points of articulation.
Right.
So that's another one I would really like to see. We have gotten a Gotham by Gaslight. That had been the next one I would come by. But Mezco was kind of knocking it out of the park right now with their release. So that's one that I feel probably won't make it to the McFarlane side, just because of how well they've treated it.
Mm-hmm.
So then the next one that I really would like to see is a Damian Wayne Batman. So they did a short run of a what if thing if Damian Wayne grew up to be Batman, and that look is just very futuristic, but it has those natural tones to it with, like, the cowl, and it's like the cape is almost like a trench coat kind of thing. So I think, just the detail and design, but also it's one of those things that's kind of out of left field to see if we get a Damian Wayne Batman. And the last one is, I'm a big fan of Nightfall, so I would love to see Tim Drake's Robin also get a figure. That's one figure that we've always kind of gotten in, like, the limited articulation in the 90s, but we really haven't seen, like, an updated version of it.
Mm-hmm. I think that if I had to, off the top of my head, choose 5, I'm with you on Batman 89. I would love a Michael Keaton Batman. I would actually go a step further and say I would like to see the Nicholson Joker. I would like to see a Danny DeVito Penguin.
Oh, absolutely.
You mentioned earlier that they're probably doing a Phantasm.
Yes.
From Mask of the Phantasm. And I don't know why mine are all Batman-centric. It's just, again, first 5 that are popping in my head. But I've said this to you and a couple of other people that I would love. So Todd McFarlane, if you are watching, if you can somehow make this happen, give me a figure of Prince from the Bat Dance video where he was half Batman and half the Joker, but it has the Prince likeness. Give me a Party Man figure. I would throw a large pile of human money at that figure.
Well, and that, see, you know, making that point is Prince is such a quintessential part of that, not just only in the music, but also in the iconography of that music video.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's even to the point that they're doing a Batman 89 comic book run right now with DC, and they've already announced that Prince is going to make an appearance in it.
Oh, man, Prince. Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace. Quick Prince story real quick. It was my final presentation in one of my capstone courses in college. It was my documentation and interpretation class, and I was giving my final presentation. Basically, we had to give a presentation on how we would document and interpret a historic site. So as I'm in a panic trying to switch over my PowerPoint, because whenever I opened it up on a Windows computer working from a Mac at home, for some reason it didn't translate well, so I had to panic and go to the school library and fix everything. And as I've got 5 minutes to do this, and as I'm putting everything or switching everything over, my friend Kaylee looks on her phone and says, Prince just died. And I stopped and I went, what? And because Prince is probably one of my top 5 favorite musicians of all time. And I had to finish fixing my presentation and then go present to actual people, not just my classmates, but actual people, about documenting and interpreting a historic site. Interpreting is not a word. Interpreting. I went to college, I promise. Interpreting a historic site, all while in the back of my mind, Prince had died. That was a tough day. It was a tough day for Prince fans all around.
Oh yeah.